¿Qué onda mi raza? Muy buenas tardes. Today is Saturday, February 3rd, 2024. And I am bringing you guys on something a little bit different. Pero we are in the lovely city of San Fernando. First of all, I wanted to say hello. My saludos to my mom. Hi, Mom. To the nephews and everybody else watching me right now, tuning in. I want to dedicate this episode and this special to
my friend Natalie Angelo.
She is back east and watches my episodes, and a while ago she had asked me about Ritchie Valens. Today being February 3rd, if you did not know, it is the day the music died. 64 years ago today was the crash where Ritchie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly died. I am coming to drop off flowers to Ritchie Valens and re-record footage of his grave because that was sadly deleted from my phone previously when we came about 2 years ago. So considering it is the day, why not do it today, right? Re-film, reshoot, whatever you want to do. But that is what we're doing. And we're on our way right now to the cemetery. We are on the 5 freeway. And I will actually get some, a shot of that. They dedicated part of the freeway going through Pacoima, right here in San Fernando, to Ritchie Valens. They named it the Ritchie Valens Memorial Highway. This was done back in 2018. Obviously, the city here, Pacoima, went ahead and dedicated the highway to Ritchie Valens, being his hometown up here, you know. And it was a big deal when all that happened. It was August 25th, 2018, and they did a whole festival around the inauguration of this highway. They did a movie screening, a whole music festival. The main lead was un primo de Ritchie Valens. His name is Ernie Valens. He plays music as well. I haven't heard of him, but hey, it is what it is. Talent must run in the family. So as soon as we get signs for the highway, I will show it. Vamos viendo, raza. Alright guys, so we didn't get a chance to drive on the highway, but we will go back. We are now entering the San Fernando Mission Cemetery. You guys remember the movie? This is where the carroza comes in and all that stuff. Like I mentioned, we have been here before, so once you pull in through this main entrance, you will stick to the right. And yeah, it's right in this little section right here. I see flowers there already. I think that's his grave. So yeah, I guess it's known that his family does come every year on his anniversary. I had read that Rosie, his love interest that became his sister-in-law, she lives out of state, but she also comes every year. And let me take you guys around real quick so I can narrate as we pull up. It's very sad still, especially now as I'm grown, you know. I grew up watching La Bamba always, and it was always so sad. But now, like I said, I'm old. That could have been my son, 17 years old. He was literally 3 months away from his 18th birthday. Y pobrecito, he didn't even get the chance to hit that age. I'm going to get into details of the accident for those of you guys that don't know or haven't watched the movie. If you haven't watched the movie, what are you guys waiting for? Check it out. Bring some Kleenex because I think you will cry. Yeah, he was like I said, a 17-year-old kid. He had his stardom fast, grew fast, and the same way he went up, he came back down. Literally, he passed away from a aviation accident today on February 3rd, but 1959. And there is a song that Don McLean wrote in 1971 referring to this airplane as the American Pie, right? Bye bye Miss American Pie. It's the day the music died, because three great performers in their peak were the ones that sadly passed away. The pilot that took this airplane also passed away, and the worst part about it was que todos estaban bien young. There was nobody over the age of 30 on that plane. The pilot himself was a 21-year-old guy. He was newly married. A lot of the blame went on him because not only one was the weather horrible, but he didn't have the experience to be, up there in such horrible weather, because it was bad. It was in the middle of winter. It was out in the Midwest. This was over there in Iowa is donde cayó el avión. So a lot of people, after they started investigating and this and that, pilots have to have airtime. He didn't have half the time that was required in order to operate an aircraft. So yeah, they say that unfortunately the accident could have been prevented if a more experienced pilot would have been navigating this plane. So yeah, what happened was they took off at 12:55 in the morning, and literally 5 minutes later, when they were trying to make contact with them, there was no more contact by 1 in the morning. Nothing. It's said that they fell down 6 miles away from where they lifted up. So that means that literally he went up, nose up, and came right back nose down. What had happened is that this tour, like I mentioned, was the winter dance party of the Midwest. There was a lot of big headliners. These three guys were some of the biggest names there. And Buddy Holly was just freaking pissed off. Estaba enfadado because they had these big names touring on these freaking buses that were worth the shit. Sorry, but they were. They didn't have no heaters. They didn't have no comfort at all. They were regular school buses. So, for kids on a short ride from and to school, it's no big deal. But these guys were traveling literally all day long. The day before this big accident, they had traveled from Green Bay, Wisconsin. They had 350 miles that they had done on bus. And this freaking bus that they were on kept breaking and breaking. And once again, it was the middle of the winter. So they were even scared they were going to get frostbite because it was freezing in this freaking, metal bus. So when they got to the concert that they performed, Buddy Holly was so fed up with the conditions of the bus, he took it upon himself to rent out this small plane to go ahead and fly to the next place over. They were supposed to be in Moorhead, Minnesota the next evening for another presentation there. So, he went ahead and got this airplane. They charged him $36 a person. And if you guys seen the movie, that part where they do the coin toss and this and that was true. The guy that was supposed to originally go on the plane had a really bad cold. He didn't want to go. He was like, nah, yo no quiero ir. Whatever, I'm not in the mood to go up there. The coin toss, they gave it to the other guy, and he actually gave it to Ritchie. Ritchie wasn't even nowhere near there, whatever. It was just one of those, like, fate, I guess. Anyways, like I said, they took off. 5 minutes later, they were nowhere to be found. They couldn't make contact. Nobody knew what happened. The snow was so bad. There was like blizzard weather up there. And until next morning at 9:45 is when they discovered the accident. This airplane fell in a cornfield right in Iowa. And they discovered it was obviously a wreck. There was injured people. All three performers did eject from the plane. The poor pilot, he was in the cockpit stuck in there. Everybody was severely hurt. They describe the injuries on the guys, the three performers, as massive and unsurvivable head injuries, blunt force trauma. So yeah, it was just one of those very, very unfortunate and horrific at that, because they were ejected far from their plane. They weren't just there. That cornfield out there in Iowa does have a memorial that they placed right in the middle. So every year around this time, it's full of, little things here and there that fans still go and drop off. Like I said, these guys were in the peak of their fame. Rock and roll was becoming a big old deal. The Big Bopper was actually a radio persona. People don't know that. And especially the song Chantilly Lace. If you hear the beginning, the way the phone rings and he's like, "This is a Big Bopper speaking." That was his little persona that he used on the radio when callers would call in and this and that. So that's how he ended up getting like a gig singing too. Like, it was just like dumb luck for him. He was 29 years old. He left a wife behind. Like I said, he was known on the radio over there in Texas. That's where he was originally from. And it was all bad. Buddy Holly was just married 6 months when that happened. He was 22 years old. He left a widow, and she was 2 months pregnant at the time. That was the only reason why she wasn't touring with him. Sadly, she did miscarry from all this, the accident, everything that happened. So yeah, and Ritchie Valens was the youngest, 17 years old. He was 3 months away from his 18th birthday in May. And the pilot, he was 21 years old. I think I did mention that before. So all of this was just horrific. Buddy Holly was from Texas as well. So once, the bodies were first identified by one of the, I guess it was one of the artists that was out there with them. He was the one that had to identify the bodies at the wreck. And everybody was shifted back home. That was how they did that procedure, to identify bodies, this and that. Ritchie Valens was the only one here in California. The other two went to Texas, and obviously the rest, we all know how it went. So I am gonna turn it around. We're gonna go drop off some flowers. I want to see if I can make it to the mural. I had read that they have a big mural that the post office painted for him. And we'll find the highway and all that good stuff. There's a lot of history that he has also back home in Pomona, but that's for another day. But I promise I will do an episode on that. So let me get to his gravesite and drop off these flowers, and let's see what else we find out here. Mr. Ritchie Valens related. So here are the flowers we're bringing. I took you guys on a bathroom break. I have a feeling that's his grave right there. So let's go across the street and check it out, because it's getting late and it is super cold out. It's recording? It is his, yeah. Alright. Got it right here. Put it on this in the middle. We probably missed his family earlier. These flowers look really fresh. Ahí está su mamá. Here it is, San Fernando Mission Cemetery. The entrance is right there. Stay to the right. Literally 1, 2, 3. Third line over, right by this mausoleum. Y ahí está, raza. What was the tour from hell in Buddy Holly's words? Seriously put everybody through hell, because it was such an unfortunate and very big loss that here we are 64 years later still mourning him, them, everybody. Alright guys, you got it from me right here in San Fernando, La Comadre B. Alright guys, so we are coming here to the post office because supposedly there's a big mural here with Ritchie Valens. So let's check it out. This post office is actually on paper named the Ritchie Valens Post Office. Back in 2019, the congressman that was here, Tony Cardenas, introduced a bill to change the name of this post office to Ritchie Valens. I do not see no mural. Anyways, it passed. They have one for Marilyn Monroe as well, somewhere in Van Nuys. And yeah, there is no mural here. They did the whole unveiling and dedication ceremony on May 13th, 2019 at 10 a.m. Everybody was here, his family, the Congress people, city people. It was a nice little event. For all of you guys that say that Donald Trump don't do nothing for us, he actually signed the legislation on December 12th, 2019 to make it official. Like there, it is the Ritchie Valens Post Office in Pacoima. So yeah, here it is. I'm kind of upset because I seen that there was a big mural of him here. I don't see it, but that is the location. We'll turn around again, see maybe it's on the other side or inside. Ritchie Valens was inducted to the Hall of Fame back in 2001. So yeah, big news out here in the valley. It is Van Nuys Boulevard and next to the burger place, not just plain. I'll get the corner right now. They lied to us, guys. It is not on the side of the post office. It is actually on the side of a t-shirt shop next to a freaking hamburger stand. I'll get off and take a picture here, but yeah, it is here, larger than life. It is actually with the cornfield where their airplane was found. And they have the 3, Ritchie Valens, Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and they even added the pilot. So that was kind of nice. Let me get off and record. In front of this t-shirt printing. Okay guys, so we came back around Van Nuys Boulevard. And the cross street is Telfair. Right there. And I don't know why on the websites it says that the post office has it. It does not. I will debunk that and tell them they lie. It is actually on the side of this t-shirt printing little shop. See it right here, guys. Like I said, larger than life. Looks like apartments in the back. Y pues ahí está Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, the pilot, and Ritchie Valens. Ahí está, raza. You got it from me. And the cornfield. And the day the music died. In Pacoima, La Comadre B. Right in the corner is another mural. I'm trying to track down his home. I bet you he's singing La Bamba right there. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, this is in the corner of Van Nuys Boulevard and Amboy. Like I said, we are trying to track down his house where he lived. So, vamos viendo, raza. See what we find.
In half a mile, turn right onto Remington Street.
Here we are. Aquí un barrio. To think in the movie, supposedly it was all dirt right here. I don't know. Can you picture? Can you imagine? A ver, vamos viendo, raza. Go to the stop. It's on the other side. Street. Okay, it says it's coming up right by that stop sign on the right.
Take the next right onto Remington Street, then your destination will be on the left.
Oh, on the left. Obviously, it is a resident of somebody, so gotta be respectful. Let's see where it's at. Okay, we did find it. So we're gonna go back around. Alright, guys. This is the house here. This is where Ritchie Valens lived. And I guess Bob lived in the back. Alright, raza. Aquí en Pacoima. You got it for me? At Ritchie Valens' house. La comadre B.